What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Player to Be Named Later. G. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm here to talk about some NFL today. I haven't talked about the NFL in a bit. I'm gonna get to a bit of my Steelers, but wanted to just discuss about what's going on with the playoffs on the horizon. A lot of different storylines in both conferences. The playoffs are shaping up. Games have been crazy. Last week, Lions Bills was unreal. Two franchises that really have been snake bitten in the past in the playoffs and Super Bowls. What a matchup that was. Josh Allen is just, on an unreal tear this year, having obviously an MVP season. I think he pretty much locked it up after that game. But got to give credit to the Bills. They came in there with a game plan against Detroit, which is not easy. And have to give credit to Joe Brady and the game he called for the Bills, which was kind of crazy when you think about it. The Bills, from an offensive point of view, really beat the Lions just with running backs out of the backfield. There weren't many that big plays to wide receivers. When you think about Amari Cooper, arguably probably the Bills' best wide receiver now, even though I really like Keon Coleman. But yeah, 0 targets for Amari, and they still put up all those points. So the Bills looking really good. Detroit, obviously, there's some factors in play there. Their defense is absolutely decimated when you think about it at all levels. From the D line out, their secondary not as much, but the first two levels most important, and it seems like they just have injuries at big ones at every level. Obviously, with Hutchinson out, Anzalone's been out for a while. They actually hope to get both those guys back. I think Anzalone is coming back. Hutchinson said if they make a Super Bowl run, he'd be back. But then they lose Aleem McNeil, and he's had a great season, and he's out now. So it's just unfortunate the way the injuries have hit Detroit. Even though with that offense, they continue to roll. But then David Montgomery, they're 3 down back. He's their guy in the backfield who really carried the load and took some pressure off Jared Goff on every play. He goes out with an MCL tear, and now he's out for the foreseeable future. So, the Lions have really been snake bitten. For their sake, I hope they find a way, man, because the Detroit Lions really deserve a run there. Yeah, about the Bills, obviously, Josh Allen, what a season he's having. It seems like he's just balling out of control. He looked unstoppable in that game. Detroit really had no answer. And again, it was really the running backs and him as a runner that took care of business, and they're really on a roll. So, I think going into the playoffs, they're probably looking like the team that can really unseat the Kansas City Chiefs. I for sure obviously believe in my Steelers, but with the Chiefs, you look at the injuries that they might be running into here with Pat Mahomes, but he's a warrior. He's dealt with the high ankle injury before. I fully expect him to just play right through it, and he's the most clutch player in the NFL. You can never really count out the Chiefs. One thing I will say is I think they, even though Isaiah Pacheco's back, he doesn't look the same. He's not running with that same anger and obviously with the injury he's coming back from, and I believe he has screws in his leg. Can't be easy. So sure, the Chiefs always seem to find a way to get it done. With Mahomes and Kelsey, can never count them out. So I fully expect them to be there. And then you get into the other teams in the AFC. I'll start with the Ravens since everyone's still putting them ahead of the Steelers. I think no matter what, with Baltimore, if they have to play Pittsburgh, I think there's an issue for them there. The Steelers just know how to play Baltimore. They know how to stop Lamar, and contain them, or at least contain them. This week's matchup should be very interesting in Baltimore. Baltimore is obviously trying to get back to even with the Steelers in the division, try and win the division from them here in the last 3 weeks. The Steelers have a tougher schedule facing the Ravens, the Chiefs on Christmas, and then finishing with the Bengals. So definitely not an easy schedule to finish for my Steelers. But I fully believe they can handle the load now. It comes down to injuries as well. George Pickens, is he fully 100%? That's a huge if. It's a huge problem, I think, for the Steelers if George misses time. Even though they're running the ball well with Najee and Jalen Warren, they're playing Steelers football, and that defense, obviously the Steelers are probably the only team that can really beat you just by kicking field goals. Boswell is a beast. Yeah, he's been money all season. And so I look for my Steelers to really make a run in the playoffs. Before we get back to them, I wanted to talk a little bit about that game against the Eagles. Wasn't too worried about how that game kind of played out again with the injury to George Pickens. It was, kind of held Russell from really hitting guys downfield. But I thought they still put themselves in with a chance to win that game. They were in it. But obviously AJ Brown kind of flexed his muscle after the little issue that he and Jalen Hurts seemed to have, which I don't think there was an issue at all. I think AJ just wants to be involved more, and the Steelers gave him every opportunity to do that because they shut down Saquon. So I believe Saquon only had 63 yards, which is saying something about that Steelers defense. So again, that's why I think my Steelers have a really good chance to make a deep run in the AFC. Again, George was out, Sean Elliott, their starting safety, was out. He was injured. But if you give a Super Bowl winning quarterback like Russ, a chance to win the game with that defense, I feel like this is a hybrid. The Steeler team kind of reminds me a little bit of the 2003 team and the 2008 team. Both Super Bowl winning teams. I'm not saying they can, they're guaranteed to do that, but there's a little bit of resemblance there. Both not exactly huge weapons on offense, but they have the pieces to get stuff done on offense, especially again with a quarterback like Russ who can make plays. He's proven it in the past. If George is healthy, Pickens, Freiermuth, Najee, and Jalen, they can, it kind of reminds me of those teams where they can make enough plays to, in combination with the defense. Now defensively, when you think of if they have to play a team like, they will probably have to go through at some point Buffalo or Kansas City. When you think about Buffalo, containing Josh within the pocket, but then also the coverage, they'd have to put on guys like Amari Cooper, Keon Coleman. They have the cornerbacks and the secondary to do that and not get beat over the top. And obviously they have TJ and Alex Highsmith with Cam Hayward stopping the run. Their linebacking core is really good, obviously, with Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson in there and Landon Roberts. So, I think they're kind of flying under the radar. Everyone is, looking at Josh Allen and what he's doing, and as they should be. Again, he just looks like he's on a tear, but I believe in my Steelers and how they're built. And Steeler football, Mike Tomlin is very good friends with Sean McDermott. There's a history there going back to their college days, and Coach Tomlin, knows how to win those games. So let's see what happens in the playoffs when they get there. I was seeing that, I just saw Dan Orlovsky say that he has no confidence at all in the Steelers outside of beating maybe the Chargers in the playoffs. So the Broncos in the playoffs. He thinks they would even still be underdogs against the Chargers and any other team. So let's see what happens moving forward here. And then back to the NFC. My sleeper team right now, man, Green Bay looks like they look like a team that could really make some noise after what they did in Seattle. Jordan Love is playing unreal, but their defense too is really suffocating. It looked like they didn't give Gino any room at all to operate whatsoever. They had great coverage downfield as well, kept DK kind of bottlenecked, and didn't really give them much, didn't give Seattle much. And every game, Green Bay is looking better. So I think they're really a sleeper team in the NFC with, you combine that with Detroit's injuries. Minnesota obviously is going to present a problem for any team with that offense. With Brian Flores' defense, the Vikings can make some noise. And then obviously the Eagles, they're battle tested. They've been through it. Sirianni is, no matter what people say, he's a good coach. And you got Jalen Hurts and that offense. Saquon is, having an unreal season, an MVP type season. If he wasn't a running back, or if they gave the MVP or considered MVPs, a running back, MVP type position, I think Saquon would be right up there because he's having such a great season, and I'm so happy for him and the fact that he's getting that opportunity to shine in Philly. But yeah, the Eagles can obviously make some noise, but right now my sleeper team in the NFC is definitely Green Bay. I think they can really do some damage in the playoffs the way they're built. They don't have really any significant injuries right now, and I think that would be a sleeper team for me. So yeah, this it all gets underway tonight. Broncos Chargers, that's going to be a great game. The Broncos have overtaken the Chargers in that division. Obviously, they're chasing KC. I don't think either of them can catch KC, obviously, but they're battling each other for a wild card spot in second place in the division. And I think the Broncos have kind of overtaken the Chargers here because of the injuries that Chargers are facing right now as well. J.K. Dobbins is out. Justin Herbert is battling, I believe, ankle and a thigh contusion injury. And without his mobility, I know he's a warrior too. Without J.K. Dobbins on the run and having to rely just on Justin Herbert throwing the ball downfield, you saw it against the Buccaneers. They really took advantage of his immobility and put a 40 spot on the Chargers. So I think the Chargers might be in trouble there. And Denver's on the rise. Bo Nix is looking better with each game. Their defense is really good. Broncos have made a turnaround here this year. Under Sean Payton, obviously he knew what he wanted with Bo Nix as his quarterback, and that worked out for the Steelers, getting Russell. Thanks for paying for his salary, guys. But yeah, the Broncos and Chargers looks like a kind of Broncos game to me. And Ravens Steelers on Saturday. Obviously, I'm going with my Steelers. I think, again, they can contain Lamar. It'll be a good game. I mean, obviously, the Ravens have a lot to lose here in terms of momentum going to the playoffs. They want to probably grab the division from the Steelers right now as it stands. But hopefully the Steelers can stand up to them defensively as they always do against Lamar. Come down to a game in the trenches, maybe a field goal. Boswell's been a lot better than Justin Tucker this year, but Justin Tucker's a legend, so you can never count him out for the Ravens. Kicking field goals. They'll be at home. They'll be motivated. And I believe that's the best rivalry in the NFL, Ravens-Steelers. So Saturday should be a great game. And as we look forward to the playoffs and kind of the seedings as teams start to settle into what seed they'll be taking, it should be interesting these last 3 weeks how things play out. As of right now, obviously towards the end of the season, injuries are playing a big part of how things are playing out for all the teams that have really been at the top of each conference. So enjoy the games this week. Should be a crazy couple of weeks with stuff kicking off tonight. Then Saturday and Sunday, obviously, the Christmas games next Wednesday, and then finishing next Sunday. So it's going to be a crazy couple of weeks here as we finish the NFL season, and enjoy the games. Once again, thank you for all of you for watching my videos. I hope you guys continue to watch them, enjoy them. Send me some requests, send me some questions, forward my videos, subscribe on YouTube, check me out on TikTok. Thank you for all the views, and I'll talk to you again soon.